Hello, welcome to Jason the Old Millennial. My name is Jason, speaking to you here in my basement in the great state of Kansas. In today's video, I'm continuing my ranking every single Beatles song. This time I'm covering Beatles Song 88 through 85. So stay tuned to see what that is here on Jason the Old Millennial. Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well here on a Tuesday evening. I hope everybody had a happy Halloween. I was working the night shift at the hospital, so it wasn't much of a holiday for me or Halloween. As I'm driving to work, I did get to see some kids in costumes and some really cool houses and the decorations. So it's really cool what they're doing with Halloween nowadays. They really, with the decorations, people have all kinds of cool things on their lawns and stuff. And I kind of wish I had kids so I can go out and trick or treat with them or something and enjoy that. But yeah, so not much for me on Halloween, but now it's over. It's November. Now we're thinking Christmas season probably at this point. Hopefully thinking more positive thoughts than the Halloween themed of, murder and demon possession and all that. But yeah, so hopefully we get more positive type of vibes in this next couple months. Anyway, so I'm ranking every single Beatles song. I love the Beatles. Pretty obsessed with them. I hope everybody's enjoying going through and hearing my opinions on each song, giving a little information about each song as I go, and kind of giving my own what I love about the song. Anyway, so we're definitely getting to here in top 100. We're in 88 on down. Definitely, these are songs I absolutely love. This is what I call the really good Beatles songs. There's actually one more tier, the great Beatles songs. So there's actually even better Beatles songs when I get to that, when I break it down to that. But anyway, so we'll get on to number 88 on my list. Number 88, and a lot of these songs I'm finding, it's funny, each time I do a video, I find a lot of the songs are almost all on one album. So I don't know, I didn't plan it that way, but it just works out. This one, there's a lot of White Album songs on these four songs I'm talking about. But first one we got is Julia, song on the White Album, as I was talking about. It's a Lennon McCartney song. Obviously, it's a John Lennon song. It's a very personal one. Julia was the name of his mom, who died getting hit by a car when he was a kid, and definitely made a big impact on him. Obviously, Julia also taught him how to play the banjo, and which he eventually, of course, learned how to play guitar. Changed his life, gave him a really good living, learning how to play guitar and singing and all that, and got a lot of that from his mom. So it's a very personal song. It's a very soft, kind of ballad type song. A lot more slow moving than a usual John Lennon song, I would say. But really beautiful. Also, it was written for his Yoko Ono, who I don't know if he's broken up with his wife by this point and gone on with Yoko Ono. But it's during that time period where he's having affairs with Yoko. He's really in love with Yoko and not his current wife at the time. So it's kind of an interesting song because it's called Julia. It seems like it's supposed to be about his mom, but then it's also about his wife or his girlfriend, mistress, whatever. So it's an interesting dynamic there. We know that because in the song he talks about Ocean Child, and I guess Yoko Ono's name maybe means Ocean Child, if I remember right. There's some kind of connection with Yoko Ono being called Ocean Child anyway. So when he says Ocean Child, he's talking about Yoko in that sense. So it's very interesting there. But yeah, beautiful song. It's much different than what you usually get from John Lennon. It's kind of known more the rocker. Paul McCartney's more known as kind of the guy who does the ballads and old style songs, I guess you can say. But it's kind of one of those instances. On the White Album, was such an interesting album because there's so much variety on it. Paul McCartney comes up with maybe the hardest rock song the Beatles ever did with Helter Skelter, which is this crazy rock song. And John, on the other hand, comes up with one of the most beautiful ballads on the album with Julia. So it's kind of interesting how they both kind of went out of their element, I think, in a way. And yeah, I really enjoy what he does on here. I really love the guitar playing, the acoustic picking. It's something kind of new for John. As I was researching, he kind of learned it from Donovan. They were good friends, of course, and they were together in India when he was doing that whole the Maharishi yogi, whatever, and learning to meditate and all that. And a lot of other musicians there. Donovan was, of course, one of the big ones that was there. That you hear a lot of stories about the Beatles and hanging out with Donovan. And of course, there's a lot of songs that I've doing the research that Donovan helped, maybe give ideas for, because almost the whole White Album was made from their time in India, because they just kind of bored, nothing to do a lot of the time. So had their acoustic guitars, and so they were writing songs, and so they wrote a bunch of songs that came off this album. This is one of them. So it's interesting, John kind of learning, expanding his acoustic guitar work with this song, and thanks to the help of Donovan. And yeah, I love the acoustic picking on the song is absolutely great, and I think it gave John, more dynamic of a singer-songwriter than before anyway. So yeah, really great song, Julia, number 88 on my list. Number 87 is a song called I Will, which is a Lennon McCartney song, but really it's a Paul McCartney song. Off the White Album again. This was a kind of a love song McCartney wrote for Linda. Again, at the time, he was dating Linda. He hadn't. Everybody else is kind of getting married, except for Paul was the last one, the last bachelor, basically. And eventually, of course, he married Linda, and they had a wonderful marriage. But yeah, so this was, another good love song from McCartney. He was great at love songs. And it's one of those almost hidden gems off of White Album to me, because I don't know if it's one that people talk about a lot, but White Album's like full of hidden gems, because there's 30 songs, and they're not always like the big hit songs that you think about that are radio friendly hits. And I Will is one of those that might be kind of forgetful. It's one of those songs I remember, long ago when I was like, didn't know that much about the White Album, and I went back to revisit it, and I came across a song. I'm like, I never heard this song before. How come I didn't know this song? And it's just one of those songs I just kind of, I don't know, forget over time. But I mean, now it's definitely a song I really enjoy listening to on the album. It's a short song. It's only 1:46. So yeah, under 2 minutes. I mean, yeah, it goes by pretty quickly. So, but still, I kind of like that. It's really well paced and everything. It's a nice acoustic guitar song again. Paul McCartney, great vocals. I love his vocals. Nothing big, but yeah, very great for the song. Again, lyrically great. It's like I said, he's kind of saying his love for Linda, whatever it is, I will do it. And I love the choruses. It's about, I love you when we're together. I love you when we're apart. Love you with all my heart. Kind of that kind of lyrics. Anyways, maybe a little cheesy at times, but yeah, I still love the lyrics of the song and the sentiment, the love sentiment that Paul puts out in the song. I really enjoy. Anyways, and it's interesting because the bass part is actually not a bass guitar. It's actually Paul McCartney making bass noises with his mouth. So if you listen to it, you think it's Paul playing a bass guitar. At least I always thought. But it turns out, he's going boom, 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 boom. He's just making the noise with his mouth, but he's so good. He knows the bass so well that even just with his mouth, he's playing a good bass on a song. So that's kind of interesting. But yeah, that's number 87, I Will. I have to turn the page here. Number 86 on my list comes off Yellow Submarine album, one of the few songs, the highest song on the album for me. I don't usually talk about the Yellow Submarine album because there's only like 4 new songs on the album, but it's a song called It's All Too Much by George Harrison, one of my favorite George Harrison songs, and kind of one it's not talked about too much, again, because Yellow Submarine is kind of a weird album because it's full of orchestra music from the movie, and then there's some repeat songs, of course, like Yellow Submarine and All You Need Is Love. But this is one of the originals off of there, and it's, like I said, I think a really good song. One of George's best, and almost another hidden gem, underrated song, I think. It's an interesting lyrically written song. Of course, George is really getting into the Indian Eastern religion at the time and meditation. He's doing a lot of meditation. He's also taking a lot of LSD during this time period, really getting more into drugs and more of the acid, the I don't know what to call it, hippie drugs, changing your, making you see things that aren't there kind of thing. Anyway, so lyrically, it's a very interesting song. And I even took out my Beatles lyric book to kind of look at the lyrics because I think they're kind of interesting. Again, it's like, he's definitely on LSD when you read the lyrics. You're like, yeah, this is definitely a hippie kind of thing. Also, I can kind of see the Indian Eastern religion influences here too, so it's very interesting. It almost plays as a love song too at times. But just to read you some of the lyrics, I mean, like first verse. Let's see if I got it here. Yeah. It says, when I look into your eyes, your love is there for me, and the more I go inside, the more there is to see. Great. Sounds like a love song there. And I love how each time he goes to the chorus, he actually changes the line. So it's not the same repeated chorus, which is very interesting, but it's all too much for me to take. The love that's shining all around you. Great. Everywhere it's what you make for us to take. It's all too much. It's talking about, the world, I guess, the love, everything's too much to take in at times, I think is what it's saying, but who knows? He might be just rambling because he's on LSD and he's trying to be very thoughtful because he's meditating, who knows? But anyway, so then from there we get more hippie LSD type lyrics. See, it's floating down the stream of time from life to life with me. Makes no difference where you are or where you'd like to be. No idea what that means, but it's kind of poetic. Then we get another verse. Sail me on the silver sun where I know that I'm free. Show me that I'm everywhere and get me home for tea. Again, very world, religion, we're God and God's in everything. I think it kind of has that, show me that I'm everywhere, because, I'm LSD, I'm everywhere, man. That kind of idea, I think. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but yeah, it's very drug related type lyrics to me there. But it sounds kind of deep, but it's not really deep kind of thing. And it ends with your long blonde hair and your eyes are blue, with your long blonde hair and your eyes are blue. So he's, of course, talking more of a love song there about a girl's hair and eyes, stuff like that. So it's very nice overall, pretty enjoyable. George Harrison, it's very catchy. Yeah, really well written song by George, even if I don't understand the lyrics. But yeah, so that's number 86. It's All Too Much. Last song I'm going to talk about, number 85, is another White Album song. It's one that I think, I doubt anybody else has this as high as I do, but it's actually a very underrated rock song, and it's called Everybody's Got Something to Hide Except Me and My Monkey, which is also one of the most ridiculous music titles, probably the most ridiculous song title the Beatles ever had, and it's the longest one. Obviously, it's the longest title ever for the Beatles. It's such a strange, how did they get away with doing it? But they're the biggest band in the world, and what does that mean? Everybody got something except for me. And he's talking about I believe about Yoko when he says me and my monkey. But why is he referred to Yoko as monkey? That's weird. Again, that doesn't seem like a endearing term. I talked on another video when I did She's So Heavy, another song that was much earlier in my rankings. She's So Heavy he's talking about Yoko. She's so heavy, but heavy was a good term. It wasn't a bad term. But you never want to call a girl heavy. You don't go, hey, you're heavy. If I said it to my wife, it would not go out well at all. But in the song She's So Heavy, it's supposed to be like a good term. I don't know. I didn't quite understand it. But I think this is another one where it's supposed to be an endearing term, I think, to Yoko. Because the song was written for Yoko, though I don't know if the lyrics make any sense to anything at all. This is just a fun rock song. And it's one of their best rock songs. And like I said, nobody talks about it because it's a weird title, I think. And it comes off the White Album. But man, that beginning, though. Bum, 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 bum. I love how that begins. And then with the it's a really heavy rock song for the time, and it's catchy and it's fast paced. Yeah, I really enjoy the song. I think much more than, I don't know, maybe most anybody else does. But definitely give it a listen if you haven't listened to it in a while. It really works. John, great vocals, I love the come on, 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 come on. I don't know. Great bass work, guitar work is absolutely amazing. Great solo work. Yeah, it's a really great rock song that's not talked about enough for the Beatles. And so I have it, fairly high, I think, at 85 here. But everybody's got something to hide except me and my monkey. That's a Casey Kasem reading there. But yeah. So yeah, really enjoy that song. And so that's my last song here at 85. So next time I'll cover 84 to 81. Anyway, so thank you to everybody for watching this video. Feel free to comment. What do you think about these songs? Are they good? Are they bad? Where are they on your list? Are they a top 100 worthy song? Love to read your comments as always. And I love everybody that comments. And I always try to comment back as much as I can. So thank you. And just thank you to all of my subscribers for supporting the channel. I, of course, appreciate all of you so much, and I hope you have a good day.